I get an interview lined up with them for that Friday of that week, which was July 9th. I'm just imagining January 6th must have been crazy for me. So January 9th comes around. I have the interview at the event stationery place at 9 a.m. It's great. I like them. They like me. I leave and I go home and I'm so excited. Literally that afternoon, I get a message from the guy I knew from college, and he's like, hey, I have good news. Good news? Good news? I've been talking to you since September about an internship at your agency, and you have good news? What could the good news be? So the good news was, you guessed it, they wanted to offer me a paid position as a graphic design intern. Great. It's in the bag. So I think that happens on Friday. Yeah, Friday. Literally right after I had the interview with the event design place. Yeah, that's what happens. That's a Friday. So Monday the 12th, I get an email from the event stationery place, and they give me an internship, but theirs is not paid. And so I'm like, wow, you have 2 internships. You have the paid one with the guy you knew from college that you didn't even interview for. I didn't even mention that. And you have the unpaid internship with the cool design studio you emailed less than a week ago. And I'm like, oh, they're offering money, so I'll take the paid one. And I had to email the stationery design brand and tell them I'm not interested. Unfortunately, not unfortunately, but I got offered a paid internship and I kind of have to take it because it's paid. Because, fresh out of college, I need some coins, I need the coins. But I still had an interview lined up with the other agency. And so I have that interview. It goes great, but in the interview, because it was a virtual interview, they asked me if I'm, basically entertaining any other agencies, and I'm like, yeah, there is one position that's paid, so I'll just have to see, what works best for me. I decided to not go with that agency because this is 2015, and they had recently went to remote work, and I just figured that for me, being a new designer, I would want to be in the office in an actual environment, learning from other people, and get, just getting the whole work experience around other people, and not take the remote job, the unpaid remote job. That's that. And it's amazing. I hadn't thought about this for years. I never thought about how the full thing worked until now. Looking back at my emails, looking back at Facebook Messenger, looking at the dates and just how quickly things move, how my career started is a whole testimony. It's a testimony of faith. It's a testimony of putting in work, because I put in work. I had faith, but I didn't just sit there waiting for a job to come. But it also is a testimony of God's provision. Even though I essentially had 3 offers, the first offer was it for me, and it was the only paid one. I could have looked more and probably found another opportunity, but I really do know and believe that was the one for me, and God had it already planned out. I got the job through someone I knew from school. And so for me, I'm thinking at a higher perspective, a different level, wow, God, you literally planned it. You orchestrated this out so beautifully. I went to school with this guy. We weren't really friends, but I knew of him. We were in the same program. And then he moved to the Houston area, got a job. He wasn't even from Houston. He literally moved to Houston for that job. And it's just a coincidence that I come from Houston. I lived in Houston before I moved to Arkansas for high school and college. And when I'm ready to move back to Houston to start my career, someone I met in Arkansas is already in Houston. Nothing, no one else but God. And I mentioned it before, but I did not have to interview for that position. They gave me that position from a reference. I hadn't met anyone from the company. I only knew the guy that I met in college. And when he came to the school to talk to me, there was no interview. It was just like, we're going to look at your stuff. We're going to see what we can do with the numbers and getting you paid. And here you go. You start on this day. Also, just looking at the speed of how it worked, I moved to Houston January 1st. I had an interview January 9th, accepted a position January 9th, got offered another position January 12th, and I essentially had another interview January 12th, but I turned down that offer as well. And I'm just like, wow, you literally secured a job in less than 2 weeks. Yeah. So I graduated December 14th, and I started, officially started my first job January 19th? No, January 20th. That just blows my mind. God is so good. Like, and I don't think if I had faith that would have happened, that my God is just that big. I really don't think I would have put in the amount of work and effort like so quickly to secure those positions. I wouldn't have followed up consistently with the God I knew from college. I wouldn't have sent those cold emails to both of those other, design places or agencies. So God is just faithful. Like, he moves under the scenes. I don't regret those other positions, because I'm grateful that God closes doors. If there's an opportunity that is not meant for you, he would close the door. And when I got offered the paid internship, those other doors closed. I hope this is a very encouraging testimony of how I got my career started. I hope that other young people or just anyone in a transition when it comes to work or any area of life finds this encouraging. Yeah, I hope you're blessed from it. So let me know if you want to hear about my other job testimonies. I've had 4 graphic design jobs. I've been out of college since December 2014. And that's a blessing in itself to be on my 4th job in my career field. God is so good. So yeah, thank you for listening. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. And I hope I see you back here. Keep growing. Till next time. Bye.